Hey guys, so today I'm going to be giving you some in-depth KAYO tips to begin mastering KAYO or to begin understanding how you should be playing against KAYO. So KAYO is a very strong agent currently. I'm not sure if he's very popular in lower ranks. Honestly, I don't think he is, but in higher ranks and in pro play, he is, I believe, very commonly played. I selected Breeze because I believe Breeze is one of his better maps for sure. So the first tip is understand KAYO's power to prevent enemies' abilities. So basically, his knife and his ult stop enemies from using their abilities, and we're going to be talking about the knife first. So use KAYO knife frequently. Basically, a good way that you can use this is imagine that there's a Sova droning, and imagine where they're droning from. Usually they'll be like right here or right here. You can chuck the knife right at this corner. You see the whole radius comes out to like over there, and so this will basically instantly stop a drone. So this is a free knife for a $400 drone, and they get no vision out of the drone. This is very powerful. You can also just do this for info. You can throw a knife to see like, oh, how many people are here? Maybe I should throw a deep cave. You know, how many people does it spot? Does it spot 3 people? Does it spot 2? Stuff like that. It's really good for getting info. It's free, and it also recharges throughout rounds. It's kind of like Sova's recon dart. So kind of use it like that, but it also has a bonus of silencing people. So use it frequently, but don't be predictable. So on attack, you can also use his knife to make space. For example, for starting in mid, something you might do or consider doing is a knife like this. You see, this is a very strong knife because anyone that wants to peek door, like say a Sky wants to flash out and peek or something, they can't do that. And I'd say don't be predictable, because if you throw this knife every round, the enemies are going to start expecting it, and it's not really going to do anything for you. They're just going to shoot it, because the knife can be shot and destroyed, so keep that in mind. But yeah, without further ado, the next tip is that there are 2 types of flashes. So understand that the best version of KAYO's flash is actually his right click. People in higher ranks refer to this flash as a CSGO pop flash or a CS pop flash, and the reason that this is so good is because the amount of time that enemies have to react to it is very small. It's a very small window for people to actually react to it. So in lower ranks, people are pretty much never going to be turning from this. So how you want to do it is you don't want to throw it straight in front of you. You want to throw it kind of behind you. So what I mean, I'll show you what it looks like first. So that's kind of what it's like. You don't want to throw it straight in front of you like this, because then you see it's going to come down and flash you. So you want to kind of throw it behind where you're going to run. And you want to wait a second before you peek, because again, you also want to come back a little bit farther so that I don't know how to explain this. Like, whenever you throw it, you want the flash to be showing to the enemy for like the least amount of time. So if you throw it from here, it's shown to the enemy for longer. But if you come back here, they can only see it right before it's about to explode. And that's why this flash is so brutal. Usually, whenever you peek with it, you'll catch people turning away last second, and it's just a free kill. If not, they'll be completely blind. So yeah, definitely to consider using that. Also, he has a left click flash that can kind of bounce. The left click flash, in my opinion, is not as good. It's a little easier to turn from because you can both hear it sooner, and after the bounce, you can turn from it as well. So like, say that I'm getting flashed here. You see, I have like much more time to actually turn from it. Whereas here, it actually activates quicker. I think I just realized that. You have to this has to bounce, I think, before it pops, maybe. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, but yeah, so left click's a little worse, but you can definitely have some lineups or something like that for it. Anyways, the next tip is use Molly to slow down enemy pushes. You can also use it on attack, but the general idea is to just kind of throw it in chokes like this. So if you hear like 3 footsteps and elbow and they're running toward you, you might just toss a Molly like this and run back. One more thing to keep in mind with the Molly is the very center of the Molly does the most damage. So this Molly pulses, and each pulse does damage. The center of the pulse does the most damage, and the outskirts of the center do less damage. So I'll show you again. Right there does the most damage, and then out here does less. And so keep that in mind if you want to like really damage someone. Try to get the center directly on top of them. And yeah, so you can also use this whenever you're pushing. A good example would be if you're wanting to push mid to B with your team for some reason, you can Molly right here. You see, that's a very strong Molly. If they peek that, they're insane. So you can use this time while this is pulsing to just run up B. This is what it might look like here. Be careful, because a Jett or a random might actually peek through that, but it's unlikely, I feel like, for the most part. The last tip that I have for you guys is use your ults. Also, you can use the Molly to stop defuses, sorry. So like if someone's defusing the spike, you can just throw your Molly on it and kind of just play time. You can also have lineups. I don't really do lineups, but if that's your thing, you know, let's see if I can get a crazy lineup here. Let's see if we have the crazy lineup. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm insane, guys. That was completely random. Make sure to use the spawn lineup in your next KO match. Anyways, the fifth and final tip that I have for you guys is use ult to push or slow down an enemy push. Again, so if we're wanting to push B from over here, you're gonna want to be like, yo, I'm gonna ult B. Make sure you guys follow me in and trade me or res me if you guys can. Again, this is gonna prevent enemies from using their abilities. You should have no fear whenever you're ulting. You kind of want to pretend like you're a duelist. You want to go in first, let your teammates bait you, because again, you're not gonna die. You're gonna go down, and whenever you go down, the cool part about your ult is that you can kind of you're like a drone. You're like a stationary drone that can see where the enemies are, and you can kind of tell that to your team. More than likely, you won't be rezzed unless you die in a really safe spot. But mainly just be concerned with opening up space for your team and kind of preventing enemies from being able to use their abilities. And you can also act as that kind of like stationary drone. So you can also use this ult lastly to prevent enemy pushes. So let's say like, oh, we hear them B. They're pushing. Oh, he's dashing. Okay. And now they're probably gonna keep pushing, but now they can't use abilities, right? And this is a big advantage for you. You have Molly to work with now. Like say you want to Molly something like this. You have the pop flash. And this is why KAYO can be so strong. He's very strong for holding down sights. He's not a sentinel, but you know, he is an initiator. He has these crazy abilities that you can kind of learn to understand. And yeah, so let me know if you guys have any questions about KAYO. Again, I think KAYO is in the top probably like 4 agents currently, top 3 or 4 agents for sure. At least if we're talking about like high level pro play or just like ranked play. If you guys have any other guides you'd like me to do, I can do them. I'm considering Sova and Killjoy next. But yeah, subscribe and peace. See you guys in the next one.